Good morning, good evening, planet Earth. Hope everything is well with you wherever you are. I am about to go through some welding in here, and there we are. Have to set the mood. If I can find my lighter, there we are. So yeah, where we left off last time was that this steel flower here just hadn't finished this last bit. I ran out of welding feed wire, so had to go to my favorite local home improvement store and pick up a new spool of that. So set the welder up on the table. I'm going to show you how and give you, while I'm taking this thing apart, give you a quick nickel tour of how welding works, because welding is some cool stuff when it works. There we go. So this is the real quick and dirty of how arc welding works. Welding is just using heat to bond two pieces of metal together at the molecular level. Handy diagram. So electricity travels out of this little tiny hunk of wire in here, right in there. Hope you can see that. Electricity travels out of here through one piece of metal to another piece of metal to what's called a grounding clamp. So it just travels right out here. Constant stream. When arc welding, you can see here's my welding diagram. Travels out here through the metal to the clamp, and generates a spark, which makes a whole heck of a lot of heat. It's a little bolt of lightning, and that heat fuses the two pieces of metal together. And as this little wire kind of feeds out, ideally there's like a little channel here, but you can see, a little pool of metal right there that this wire makes, as it helps like bond all this together. And the reason this is called flux core wire is because inside of this wire is a little channel of what's called flux that helps keep it from oxidizing, rusting too fast. This little lightning bolt here, and you might see, if you go past a construction site, you might see a big old box, which is the welder itself, and then a tank of gas right next to it. This gas serves the same purpose as this flux core. This gas is way nicer, way more controlled, produces a much better finished product. But if you've got what we call baby's first welder here, nice basic wire feed welder, that's all you need. And I could cut this thing. This is already run out, so this isn't wasted, or this is wasted rather, wire. There's nothing I can do about it. And yeah, and I could cut it, and that flux is so tiny in here that you wouldn't be able to see that anyway. So sadly, this 8 feet of wire is eye-poking garbage. But nice thing about it, I can go to my local home improvement store and get another spool. So hang on just a hot second. I'm going to load this up, show you how that works, and then get this back end feeding and finish this last piece of metal work off. I just want to post the link to this live stream over on ye old laptop, and hopefully some of you can see this. Whoa. Beats, as always, by the Mellow Beat Seeker. My other laptop that I normally stream music on is being difficult. So having to do everything on this one machine, and it doesn't always like to do everything all at once. Let's see if I can get R2 up and running again. All right, post this link up on my Twitter. Man, this machine is really struggling. Step. And sadly, I can't show you these. There's a knob up here that controls the speed at which the wire feeds through, and there's one that controls the voltage, the power, the intensity of the electricity that's running to this tiny little wire. So, tonight's unofficial sponsor, Sam Adams October. Get it while you can. It's delicious. Safety first, kids. Stay hydrated. There we are. Chuck off this other beat section. I like to have beats playing interfere with the streaming any more than I already do. All right, while that's going, we'll just pull this little wing nut off. And there we go. On the Gadgets podcast, he's going to be talking with me about trying to do visual art and some of the garbage that we got to go through to be a creative person in the big city. There we go. Lovely. But tools, get a little knife to cut plastic wrap. That's you. And the way this works is when I pull this little red trigger here, activates a little motor on a gear that just sort of grabs and just feeds this all the way through. So the trick is to get this so that it feeds out in a nice, even, delicate way. This welder was a gift to me by all of my friends. So people that have been very kind and very patient to me over the years. I was at Maryland, over in College Park, doing theater design and other stuff. And these folks, God bless them, they knew that I just wanted to make art. And that was back 2005, 2006, something like that. So this welder is about 12 years old now. And I just wanted to make art. And they all put together and bought me this welder for Christmas. I'm totally unworthy of such things, and I am forever grateful to all of them. So I'm totally unworthy of such things, and I am forever grateful to all of them. So Katie, Jason, Andy, Gus, all of you, God bless you. So the hardest part is just there's two little tiny springs that this rides inside of, little guide springs. The hardest part is just feeding it into those. Come on, buddy. feed it into that little second slot. Sure, there's all kinds of dick jokes I could make. But I just want to get this up and rolling. And there we go. There. This little wing nut helps adjust the tension to make sure that this doesn't get too loose and just go destroying out. And that's it. Speed this down. Clamp that back. And then power on. Just don't touch any of that. They get a little loose. And just see that just slowly spinning, and it's just feeding wire all the way back through. I've got my speed on this, so the feed speed about where I want it, so I don't really want to mess with that. So I'm just going to take my time, let this roll right out. While I'm getting that ready, get my lovely welding helmet back on. And you can feel this as it kind of snakes through. Because inside of this is a pretty stiff little spring that this wire just guides through. And I just like to keep an eye on it as it's going. Quick it is to pop out. And there we are. Brand new wire feed. Just like that. Love it. So, I also like to test, close this back up. I like to test the current just to make sure that it's working the way it's supposed to. A little buzz in it. And we're good. And then I'll just skip that in right off. Oh, another thing about welding is when the metal gets really hot, I don't know how well you can see that, but you see it turns kind of blue, kind of discolors it from the heat. That lets you know when if you ever hear me talking about weld penetration, I welded here, but it got so hot it bubbled through the other side. But you can see that heat penetrating all the way out here. I love that, and that's a look I go for. You can sort of see that blue, like right there, and right there. I love it, and that's part of what makes, part of what makes these so good for me. So we'll just skip that up. And this spool, 1 pound wire, 1 pound spool of wire was $15. So you can get a welder like this from Harbor Freight for about 150, maybe $200. And spool wire for 15. And this is maybe the 3rd time or 4th time how you use it to clean your welds. So hot diggity damn. Let's get this welded. All right, where was I? Got some slag, some artifacts left over, and you may just be stuck with that. I'm not wearing my full jacket tonight because it's kind of warm. I'm wearing my apron, so I might get a little bit of a sunburn right here. I'm not going to be welding a whole hell of a lot. All right. Let's turn that down. Pick up where we left off. Since all of my settings are the same, I don't need to adjust anything. Just get right to it. thing about welding, yeah, that's nice and sloppy. So every spool of wire is a little different. So I'm actually going to have to turn the speed on this down just a touch, because that was just diving right out. And I didn't change that at all. That's a nice lumpy weld. I won't say that's pretty, but did the job. Round 2. I'm going to turn the welder off until I need it again because it's noisy. So what I'm brushing away now, that flux puts a coating on it. And so I'm just trying to brush that away so that when I clear coat it, one, it helps me see how good the weld is penetrated. And that looks pretty good. But it will also, clearing it off, brushing it away will help the clear coat, when I spray it, stick better. So, look at that. One beautiful rose. And you know, each one sits a little different. No two roses are exactly the same. I'm going to put this nice finished one over there so it doesn't get ground. And just like cooking on the stove, this metal is still hot. This metal is still hot. Still hot. So there's nothing but gloves for me when I'm holding it for a while. I actually have to find some place to put it where I won't set something on fire, because that's a real risk. Just set you up there. All right. Great. Yeah, these gloves pop in. All right, so let's set up for welding glove for flower number 2. I like to keep a pretty clean workspace, so these are all little metal splatters that I'm brushing off. Two more leaves. Dang it. I don't have the best internet out here in the Archives. Our house is in a little bit of a rough area data-wise. And sometimes I lose stuff. I'm using a repeater from the network at the house. So, all right. Time to make 13 more petals. Yeah, it doesn't help that I'm music in streaming this feed, and you know, people at the house back inside are watching anime. They're streaming stuff, and everyone's got their own devices. So you know, there's really no such thing as a sufficient. I'm doing the smaller, tighter curls first, just so I can get them out of the way and know which one is going on the inside. So this one's real tight. This one's probably going to go first. Back in 2000 and back in 99, 2000, I was at the University of Maryland in their theater design program, and I learned how to weld pretty quickly. And I took a steel sculpture class. I talked my way into it. I wasn't qualified because I wasn't an art major, and it was like a 300 or 400 level class. And I was like, I already know how to weld. I just want to make metal art. Please, dean of the art department, let me do this thing. God bless him, he did. So I was in the art studio, and I really wanted to impress a girl. And, you know, I'm a moody, dark boy, goth boy, as it were. It's got a sharp edge. But yeah, so I was like, I want to make something, you know, because I will love you always and forever back then. And I wanted to make something he had never seen before. And so I did. I was like, I'm going to make you a steel rose. And I saw roses made out of mostly copper at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. And they're awesome. They're a fairly simple design, pretty ingenious. And they're made with soldering, not welding. And I was like, I want to make something more complicated than these, because the ones at the Ren Fair are folded, and they're kind of just like folded up like that, out of just a few pieces of metal that can be made pretty quickly, which is why they don't cost as much. That's why they're as inexpensive as they are. Even though you think they cost a lot, they should cost a whole lot more. But I want something a little more detailed than all that. So, yeah, I just thought of this design. Like, I thought, how do flowers work? It was just like, you have a stem and then just a petal, one after another. And 13 seemed to be the right number to get it to look the way I wanted it to. Using scrap action. 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold on. And I didn't go through any prototypes or anything like that. I just started making it. And the first flower I made went into a steel sculpture, a self-portrait, gargoyle, go figure, holding this rose. And I gave it to the young woman I loved. Needless to say, that didn't work out. But I just kept that little hunk of art in my head and made, you know, it was made with love and it was made to show love. So I try and make all of these with that same care. Even if I have no idea who these are going to, like, I want to instill as much love into these as I possibly can, because the people who receive deserve that. You deserve that. You absolutely deserve to be loved and appreciated, whoever you are, however you are. No buts. And anyone who says you don't deserve, fuck off. There you have it. 13 petals. This one's a little tight. Let's see if I can. A little bit more curve on one side. Yeah. All right. I know I got plenty of wire for this. So let's get to it. Safety first. Ish. All right, wire brush. Keep the snips away. Wire fence tool. This is a if you like multi-purpose tools for your toolbox, it's called a wire fence tool. It's a hammer, pliers, nail puller used for repairing wire fences, but it's also good for all kinds of stuff around the shop. All right. Back at it. You see me stop and hold it for a little bit? Because I just want to make sure this metal cools off and solidifies before I take it out. Yep. Brush it off, turn it 30 degrees-ish. Next. Perfect. Lovely. This cleaning process is part of the love that I show and put into this. Frequently burned when I do it, but I want to make sure that every rose is treated appropriately and cared for the entire process. So this is the gardening with fire. Every now and again, a little adjustment to make sure it doesn't just like stick way out. nicely. Oh, these poor gloves. And when I'm doing this right in an ideal world, this will. They're doing computer. In an ideal world, when I do this right, I will pick progressively slightly larger petals as I go to help give it, as close to a natural-ish kind of look as I can. There we go. Now it's being solid. And with welding two radically different thicknesses of metal, just like cooking, it becomes kind of a sense of feel. Because you want to concentrate as much of the heat as you can on the thicker metal, because it'll just burn right through this thin sheet metal, even with that filler rod. Grease spot down there. That's nice and tight. I like it. I like it. You definitely want to use this in a well-ventilated space. I've got asthma, and I know these fumes are not too good for you. So for my next weld, I'm just going to crack open the studio door over here so I don't die. Escape. All right, look at that. Lovely. If it's not obvious, I love doing this. And not to sound too egomaniacal, but like, making this kind of stuff will last hundreds of years. If this stuff is treated with even like the bare minimum care, this stuff might even last. My metal roses may last thousands of years. Think about that. Think about that for a hot second. You know, like my paintings are going to last a long time. You know, a couple hundred years. They're ever in a museum, maybe 1,000 years, like that kind of environment. But my metal roses are for everyday people. I want these things to be given as tokens of affection in the family. You know, I want these things to sit in a dining room table, and get passed down and hung on to just because they look cool. And I want these to make people happy for generations. And if I could do nothing else on this planet but make people just a little happier for a few thousand years, then, you know, I've done something. And that's okay. What have you done? There's so much violence and strife and hate and ugly in the world. So much. Most of it is wildly unnecessary. So I'm hoping to just, put some good. And if you don't want to make metal roses, little welder like this comes in real handy for maybe putting on an exhaust pipe, or fixing some stair railings, or like that sort of useful thing. When I lived briefly in northern Michigan, I had a welder with me, and my next door neighbor was like, "Hey, please help me weld my door on my truck back on," or something like that. Like that was too advanced for me. I didn't want to screw his truck up, so I declined. But if you have the skills and the talent and the confidence, that's something you can do. That's some way you can definitely help with your little $150 welder. Overshot that. You don't want to let it get too far out. I try to keep it to about a 1/4 inch, because the heat does weird things in this electrode. Yeah, thank you. This electrode gets too long. Quarter inch is the ideal length. Man, that's lovely. That one over there. And this last one, brush off your flyers every now and again too. There we go. Woo! All right, like that. I'm looking in the screen right over here, and that's gorgeous. Set you there. These leaves done. I see I'm already at about 45 minutes, so I'm going to try and knock this last hunk out, wrap the stream up. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to make one of these from start to finish. That's why I charge what I do. This is the hard part. It's difficult to get a grip on these things. Here we go. Perfect. Brush this off and show you. I don't know if you can see that, the little bit came through and was molten and burning the table. That's okay. Just a little bit there. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Nice concentric rings, and I don't know how well that blue comes through. Man, love it, love it. So on a nice rose like this, I actually try to find a top, which would probably be this side, so that the supporting stems are on the other side.
Oh yeah, still watching. Graduate stocks, midnight invite.
Some variation of that.
What is this? 25 bonus wins. All things $15.99. Only at Wingstop. Alright, so, oh.
Ran out of music. No. Right.
Whatever, I'm almost done. So sometimes I get fussy, especially if my laptop screws me up. I'll just grab this here. Yeah, this first one, I didn't catch it all. So glad that second one did. Is there a way to recover from that? Yeah, well, I can just take a grinder, grind that metal back smooth, try again. I don't have the time or the desire to deal with that right now. So, no, short answer is no. you can see that. That's still glowing. That's the coolest thing in the world to me. This business. One last dot here.
And that'll help hold this bad weld together too.
All right. Sparks everywhere. Ruin my shirt. Take some time. Just clean that up. There you have it. One lovely steel rose right before your eyes. And you know, this is so hot, it's cooking my fingers. But this thing, you know, Cosmos willing, this thing will bring happiness even just a little bit to people for thousands of years. What more could I really ask? So, thank you very much for joining me. This is Bobcat, live in the Art Minds, and I hope you are safe, loved, and well fed wherever you are. Good night.